Hey, what is up guys? This is Bailey Stein with Android Authority, and here it is, the ZTE Axon 7. It's a $400 unlocked dual SIM smartphone that works on all major carriers in the US. But should you buy it? Let's find out in our video review of the ZTE Axon 7. The Axon 7's design is largely a refinement of what we saw last year with the first Axon. This time around, ZTE has used an aluminum unibody, free of any edges or plastic caps. It's a more traditional take, yes, but there are many things to love about this design. The build quality, for one, is excellent, and the curved shape is both elegant and ergonomic. I really like the recessed fingerprint reader on the back too, as it made actually finding the reader much easier. The reader is both fast and accurate and easily beats out phones like the Nexus 6P. The camera hump is, well, there, but it's not terrible. It's not enough to make the phone wobble on a table anyway, unless using excessive force. ZTE tells us that this phone was designed with the help of DesignWorks, which is actually a US-based BMW Group subsidiary. I can definitely see this in the Axon 7's design, even without the small designed in the USA tag on the back, serving as a reminder. So for the navigation keys, ZTE actually ended up going with 3 non-illuminated indeterminate capacitive keys for the US release. Although it's at first difficult to determine which key does what, I found the ability to change the layout in the settings to be invaluable. Personally, I don't really care that the keys are non-illuminated, but I feel that they could be spaced out a little more. One other thing, this phone is really slippery, and the curved side edges certainly don't help. It can be challenging to grip at times, and reaching for the notification panel makes me especially nervous. Overall though, a big thumbs up for the Axon 7's design. Moving on to the display, we're looking at a 5.5-inch Quad HD AMOLED panel. So yeah, it looks great on paper, and it's even better in person with excellent sharpness, punchy and saturated colors, deep blacks, and decent sunlight readability. There's not much more we could ask for from a smartphone display, and it's kind of crazy that ZTE was able to include this given the Axon 7's price. There's also Gorilla Glass 4 for scratch resistance, and I really like how the display curves down to meet with the chamfered aluminum. Oh, and it's being powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820, which has been used in every major flagship this year. It should come as no surprise that day-to-day performance is buttery smooth. I didn't notice any lag with the Axon 7, and the 4GB of RAM was enough to handle heavy multitasking. If you're a gamer, you'll find that the Adreno 530 is more than enough for pretty much every Android game out there. What sets the Axon 7 apart from other Chinese smartphones is its compatibility with every major US 4G LTE network. And since it's unlocked and dual SIM, you can use 2 individual lines with this single phone. I was very happy to learn that ZTE decided to not only double the phone storage from last year to 64GB, but also to include a microSD card expansion slot up to 256GB. That's a feature that we all love to see, even if it means having to give up one of the SIM card slots. The Axon 7 includes dual independent hi-fi audio chips for both listening and recording. And yeah, it admittedly can sound a bit gimmicky, but the Axon 7's audio output is excellent, especially when streaming at higher bit rates. Even with an $8 pair of earbuds, I found the sound to be louder and fuller than many other smartphones. As far as recording is concerned, well, this voiceover was recorded entirely with the Axon 7 and the Rode SmartLav microphone. For conferences and other less formal recordings, ZTE states that the dual noise-canceling microphones are able to clearly capture voices up to 8 meters away. That's great and all, but the true highlight is the Axon 7's dual front-facing stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos surround sound technology. To put it frankly, the listening experience is extraordinary. Sound is impressively clear, loud, and full. I also didn't notice much distortion, even at full volume. These speakers make watching movies, listening to music, or playing games much more immersive, and give the HTC's boom sound a run for its money. Thankfully, ZTE went with a reversible USB Type-C port, and also implemented Quick Charge 3.0, which lets you charge the phone from 0 to 50 in just 30 minutes. Unlike some manufacturers, ZTE included a Quick Charge 3.0 charger in the box too, so you won't be needing to go out and buy one yourself. Actual battery life holds up quite well too, and I'd say that it's on par with the Galaxy S7, maybe even just a bit better. I was at first worried that the 3250 mAh battery wouldn't be enough considering the Axon 7's hardware, but I was consistently able to achieve upwards of 5 hours of screen on time with a full day of heavy use. With moderate use, that amount could be stretched to 6 hours. One of the most important aspects of the modern smartphone is, of course, how well the camera performs. The Axon 7's camera looks pretty killer based on the specs too. It's 20 megapixels with an f1.8 aperture and optical image stabilization. And in good lighting, most images come out sharp with good contrast and accurate color reproduction. With that said, the camera app didn't always nail exposure, and there can be a lack of vividness in certain shots. But overall, I'd say that the camera does very well in good lighting. For video, it does 4K at 30 FPS and even supports the newer HVAC codec. There's also an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, which can also record video at up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Although the camera specs may make the Axon 7 seem like a low-light champ, low-light images came out soft with muted colors. I did notice an excessive amount of noise reduction taking place in most of the images, so it's possible that low light could be improved with some image processing software improvements. But for now, low light performance with the Axon 7 feels much like a compromise. I did enjoy using the camera app, however. The automatic mode automatically turns things like HDR and night mode on, while the manual mode is also very powerful. The additional filters and modes like panorama and time-lapse are also appreciated. I think that ZTE's idea of using the fingerprint reader as a shutter button is ingenious, and the capture and cheese commands work surprisingly well. In regards to software, the Axon 7 is running ZTE's Mi Favor UI 4.0 over Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. But actually, out of the box, a stock Android theme is selected by default. With the stock theme, UI changes are expectedly minimal. There are no major changes here, and the minor changes ZTE has made feel justified for the most part. For example, there's a clear all button in the multitasking view, something which a lot of people have been asking for a while now. There are a lot of functional changes too. One of those is the dynamic wallpaper feature, which can change the lock screen each time you unlock the Axon 7. There's also some gestures like double tap to wake and shake twice for flashlight. When we spoke with ZTE, they seemed very focused on delivering a superior user experience. So for example, when you hold the Axon 7 up to your ear, it asks,
"Who do you want to call?"
611. As much as I think ZTE has done an excellent job on the software, I feel that some areas could use some additional polish. There's a lot of little things that are simply annoying, like the fact that you have to tap the notification bell every time you want to see notifications on the lock screen. Overall though, the software is pretty good, and it's easily ZTE's best attempt yet. You can purchase the Axon 7 in either Ion Gold or Quartz Gray for $400 from various retailers. There are some special goodies included in the box, including some earbuds, a SIM door eject tool attachable to a keychain, a micro USB to USB Type-C adapter, as well as a clear silicone case. But that's only the beginning, as the Axon 7 includes Axon Passport 2.0, a 2-year premium warranty. It's a pretty compelling offer, especially once you consider how inexpensive the Axon 7 already is. It's evident that ZTE has poured a massive amount of time and effort in order to make the Axon 7 the home run that it is. Although the Axon 7's camera may not be the best, the phone otherwise feels largely uncompromised. And that's why I'm making the Axon 7 my daily driver, and I think you should too. Thank you for watching our video review of the ZTE Axon 7. Please be sure to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Finally, be sure to visit the Android Authority website for additional coverage, as we are your source for all things Android.